Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum Vakshe Vedanta Madhuryam Lokanandakaram Bhavet. We have seen up to verse number 17. Verse number 17. We'll see that here. Verse number 17. Atmaikatvam yo janati prema purno bhavatyano samasarveshu bhuteshu maitra karuna eva saha. Yesterday we concluded this point that one self alone is there in all living beings. Presently, our experience is I am different from you, and me, myself is different from yourself, and you have your own sorrows and pangs and joys and success, and I am different from you. So let us take an example of our own body, where every part of my body I can feel my presence, even though hand is not leg, leg is not the nose, nose is not the tongue. Every limb has got its own particular role to play, and they are not repeating somebody else's role. And all of them are necessary too. Now, if eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, hands, legs, trunk of the body, and many other parts of my body, in which I alone am, even though they are Nama, Rupa, Beda, they have different names and different form and different function also. But in all of them I feel me, I. Where does this I originate from? If you look at carefully, Vedanta says in the Chidabhasa, the reflection of consciousness, the consciousness reflecting itself as I thought, which is called Chidabhasa. And this I thought, otherwise known as ego, has the tendency to identify. And this Chidabhasa is the one which is now identified with the entire body, every part of the body, and says I. I am this, I am the nose, I am the tongue, I am the ears, I am the eyes, I am the hands, I am the legs. So it is constantly identifying with all the limbs of the body, and therefore we experience the I in all parts of entire body. In other words, consciousness reflecting on the I thought, which is Chidabhasa, and that Chidabhasa identified with all parts of the body. Now, this Chidabhasa is a reflection of consciousness. So, just as one consciousness reflecting in one Chidabhasa identified with the entire body feels the I, the same consciousness reflecting in another Chidabhasa, your, and there is a notion of I in you. In the same way, that one consciousness reflecting in various Chidabhasas, various egos, various beings, is expressing itself locally as I. But the source is what? The source is only one. Just like one sunlight falling on many small ponds appearing like many different reflections, there are many reflections but only one sun. Similarly, Brahman, the supreme reality, reflecting itself as the Chidabhasa or reflected consciousness, which in turn identifies with the local upadhis as Aham. So, aupadika rupena aham idi sarvatra sarveshu sarvahridayeshu yat vibhati tat sarvam eka atma eva nirupadika rupena. Without the upadhis, ekam. With the upadhis, anekam. When one comes to realize this in the samadhi sthiti, going beyond or transcending the Chidabhasa Tattva or transcending the ego or transcending the identification, one comes to recognize that one pure consciousness alone is reflecting in all medias as I. Then what would be his state of mind? Ekatvam yo janati prema purnaha. He cannot but be a loving everything, everyone. Bhavati. And saha sarveshu bhuteshu maitraha. In all beings is friend. Karuna. Full of compassion. Eva saha. Full of love, full of compassion. This is the hallmark of all saints. It is not that they want to be, they want to love. They cannot but love. Just like I cannot but love my body, every part of my body I cannot, because of my identification with this physical body. I cannot but love because entire body is me. In the same way, when identified with the pure consciousness, which in turn reflects in all beings, yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanu pashyati. Bhagavan Krishna also says in Gita. In all living beings, he is able to see himself in all in himself. Such a person, tatra ko moha karshoka ekatvam anupashyatah iti Upanishad vadati. He cannot but be a person of love. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane gavihastini shuni chaiva svapake panditaha samadarshinaha. In the dog or a dog eater, in a cow, in a horse, in an elephant, in a person who has great education, or even one who do not have any education at all. In all beings, he is able to recognize who the one. Continuing on the next verse. Anenaiva sa sarvesham pritimatro bhavishyati kimidam nahi madhuryam vedante yat prakashitam अनेनैव स सर्वेषां प्रीतिपात्रो भविष्यति किमिदं न हि माधुर्यं वेदान्ते यत् प्रकाशितम्. Anena, by this knowledge, by this experience of Vedanta, sarvesham pritipatraha bhavishyati. He not only he loves all, everyone starts to love this person. Priti Patraha is the very recipient of love from everyone. It's obvious that in this world, what you give is what you get. What you give is what you get. What you don't give, you don't get. If we give love, we get love. If we give frustration and anger and sorrow, we will get only that. And this person has infinite love for everyone because he cannot but see himself in everyone. Not because he is supposed to see it. It's not like that. He cannot but see it. Because he is such a person of a highest vision of oneness, he becomes the beloved of everyone. Bhagavan Krishna, when he was there, all people loved him. How is that possible that everyone can love him? How is that possible? Because he did not see any difference. Gurudev also, Swami Chinmayananda, everybody had a special feeling. No, Gurudev is very special to me. He exclusively loved me. How is that possible for a single person to extend his love for everyone equally? Yeah, this knowledge brings that great feat, great success. What? Pritipatraha sarvaesham bhavishyati. Then, if that is the case, kimidam nahi madhuryam. How can this knowledge cannot be sweet? Because love is that which everybody will be seeking from everyone. You want anyone to hate you? Anybody wants anyone to hate? I would love somebody to hate me. Nobody says that. If you can be loved by everybody, would you not like that? Everyone. Anybody whom you have come across is so loving to you. How is that going to be not sweet? Kimidam nahi madhuryam Vedante yat prakashitam. What is explained and revealed in Vedanta, once you know, once you realize, once you come to experience it, how can it not be sweet? See, we like people who forgive us, isn't it? If I'm doing something and you keep on judging me and punishing me and ridiculing me, humiliating me, I don't feel like to be around you. Why? Because you are very judgmental. You're not forgiving. You're pointing out all the mistakes all the time to me. But if I can be in the presence of someone who can at once forgive me, embrace me, overlook my mistakes, correct me with love, show me the right direction with great kindness, and uplift me from where I am, would you not like such a company? And who can give such a company? Who can be like that? One who does not see the faults, one who sees only what is good in me. All of us are good in something. And all of us are bad in some respect also. We know it. But somebody who can highlight my goodness and overlook my negativity is what I like. And only a Mahatma who has reached that state of realization or understanding that everybody is essentially equal. Here and there may be some inequalities and differences, but essentially all are Shuddha Brahma Paramatma only, which is of the nature of pure existence and consciousness and bliss. Not only human, all living beings. Such a Mahatma, when he is around, everybody is flocking around that person. Why? Because they find themselves at peace with him. That's the beauty of this knowledge. How can it not be sweet then? Continuing here. Atmabodhena yo shaktihi. Ya shaktihi. Atmabodhena ya shaktihi. Prapyate purushairiha. Apnuvanti taya siddhim. सर्वकार्येण संशयः आत्मबोधेन या शक्तिः प्राप्यते पुरुषैरिह आप्नुवन्ति तया सिद्धिं सर्वकार्येण संशयः या शक्तिः आत्मबोधेन प्राप्यते Ya Shakti, that power, that knowledge, that strength, Prapyade is obtained, Atma Bodhena, by the knowledge of the self, Purushaihi, by the people here, in this very world, Taya Shaktya, Sarvakarye Siddhim Apnuvanti. They obtain success in all endeavors. Na samshaya. There's no doubt about that. See, this knowledge is not just for the sake of meditation, isolation, renunciation. No. A person who has this knowledge can engage in any activity, any kind of a work. Such a person will be successful only. Now, success also cannot be, if you ask, what is success to a 10-year-old boy or 10-year-old girl? What is success according to you, if you ask? That child would say, I must graduate with nice, good grades. If he's a 10th or 11th grader, I'm working hard to become a top of the school or whatever it is, if he's really studious. Or if he's a sports person, is having some skill in the sports, then he'll say, I must be the best player, whatever. Whichever be the endeavor, success is depending upon what he or she seeks to achieve. If you go to a person who is already in the medical school or school of law, I must graduate from the school and, become a good lawyer, good doctor, good journalist, good artist, whatever. At that level, it is not graduation anymore, but profession. It goes on like that. If somebody is in profession, then I want to promote myself into higher level of management. Now, if you look at it, everybody is seeking for success in their own specific field. But ultimately, can the success be defined only in terms of successful in education or profession or promotion? Or finally, why do you need success? Or what is the success finally bringing you? Happiness. Can you be successfully unhappy? What is the success is for? Now you see, if you are in a lonely island, nobody is there, you are the only human being, what is your definition of success there? Tell me. What is your definition of success? If you are the only person in the whole island, what is your definition of success? To become a journalist, doctor, lawyer? What? Build a big house. For whom? For what sake? See, our idea of success is always relative. I want to be better than this person, bigger than that house, greater than that guy, powerful than this one. But ultimately, all this which we are defining as our success, so relative, and finally, why success? You will find that all this success, if it doesn't give me happiness, I don't want it. As Gurudev would say, when you are probably in India striving to meet two ends of your life, to meet expenses, you are unsuccessfully unhappy. When you came here, you got what you want, let us say, you got a good job and this and that. Now, with so much of work, pressure, etc., you are successfully unhappy. If success cannot give you happiness, what is the idea of success? So when it is said that such a person who gains this self-knowledge, ya shakti atmabodhena prapyate, taya, with that very knowledge, sarvakarye siddhim apnuvanti. Purushaha siddhim apnuvanti. What is the siddhi? That siddhi is where that complete joy, irrespective of what happens to me, what is outside me, which profession I am, it doesn't matter. Once I know who I am, I can be I am wherever I go. I don't change because what happens outside. In our problem is we keep on changing ourselves according to the what is going on around us. But one who has realized his own nature, he doesn't need to change because he's so content with himself. Atma ratihi bhavati. Atma ratihi. Atma nishtaha. Atma krida. He plays in himself, revels in himself. Yasvatmaratire vasyat atmatriptascha manavaha atmannevacha santushtaha tasya कार्यम न विद्यते कर्तव्यम न विद्यते उसका करने का कोई नहीं कुछ नहीं है फिर भी करता है he doesn't need anything to make himself happy because he's already there. Then why does he do any work? Happily he will do the work, not for happiness. Happily he will do. So is it not that when you happily do something, you are already succeeded? That action doesn't define your success or happiness anymore. Joyfully you will do the work. No more grudging and complaining and lamenting. And happily, any work, happily you will do it. That's the beauty of this knowledge. The work doesn't define him anymore. Tasya karyam na vidyate. In this, there is no samshaya. There is no doubt about this at all. So now, how do you say that it is possible? Now you see in the next verse, he's quoting Gita. What happened in the case of Arjun? Now you see. Mohagrastos yata partha kartavya vishaye yudhi tada krishnena sambuddha sobhavat vijayi sukhi mohagrasto yada partha kartavya vishaye yudhi tada krishnena sambuddha sobhavat vijayi sukhi. Partha, Prataputra, Arjuna. Yudhi, in the war field, battlefield, Mohagrastaha, Mohena Grastaha, caught in his own delusion, net of delusion, Yada Kartavya Vishaye Mohagrastaha. What is to be done? He was confused. Great warrior, great archer, great dancer, artist, beautiful, strong, attractive, all good qualities he had, great qualities, divine qualities, power, skill, everything. Couldn't do anything at that point. Mohagrastha. At that point, he asked this question: Dharma sanmuda chetaham shadimam prapannam. Please instruct me very clearly. I am very confused about what is my kartavya, what is to be done. Bhagavan Krishna very smilingly, Tada Krishnena Sambuddha. Very well taught by Krishna. What is the final result achieved by Arjuna after listening to Krishna? Abhavat. What? Vijayi Sukhi Abhavat. Saha. He became successful, happy at the end of it. Nashto moha smritir labdha. My moha is gone. I gained the correct understanding now. Karishye vachanam tava. I will do what you asked me to do. How is that transformation taking place? How did the transformation take place? Bhagavan gave vision about life. What is life? Kaisa जीना है? How to live? जीवन कैसा करना है? जीवन का लक्ष्य क्या है? What is the very purpose of life? How to live the life? कैसा कर्म करना है? How the work should be done and what work should be done? What kind of a work should be done? How it is to be done? How to gain knowledge? How to gain devotion? How to sit in meditation? All these are taught. See, he was a warrior to begin with. Why should he teach him about meditation? Why should he teach him about devotion? What is the purpose? See, he asked for what? I don't know what to do. I'm confused. Oh, you don't know what to do? Here is a war. There are your enemies. You are a person who are supposed to kill, supposed to battle, win the battle. These are all your enemies. They are negative people who are bringing down the entire culture. They are not doing the right thing. Go and attack. That's all he has to say. But Krishna did not do that. Though finally Arjun picked up his bow and arrow, which he threw it away in the beginning. He picked up his bow and arrow. He said, Karishye vachanam tava. I will do it now. What made him change and become successful? It is not the skill of the war, which he already had, but life. What is life? What is the purpose? Where are you proceeding? What is your final goal? Atmajnanam dattavan Bhagavan. Atmajnanam. He gave the knowledge of the self. Aap kaun ho. Understand who you are. मैं कौन हूं? ईश्वर कौन है? जीव कौन है? ये प्रकृति क्या है? ये संसार कैसा है? बंधन कैसे हुआ? बंधन के छोड़ना कैसा है? How this bondage has come about? How to get rid of this bondage? What is ignorance? What is knowledge? What is reality? What is unreal? This knowledge, when he got, he became a successful warrior. It's not that he left the war and walked away. So in any field you are, whichever be your field, wherever you are, as a husband, as a wife, as a parent, as a brother or a sister, or as a manager or a professional, whatever you be, you become better than what you are right now. Gurudev always said that this is called art of man making. It's how to live the life, not how to live the life. This knowledge strengthens. Vidya datat, vidya vindade viryam, as Guruji also points out there. Vidya vindade viryam, you discover the greater strength in you. Even in the case of Gurudev, a journalist who had such a negative idea about the sadhus, etc., when he traveled to Himalayas and finally when he met with Swami Shivananda and Swami Tapovanam, he completely got transformed about the entire purpose of life. He was very unhappy when his own friend suddenly died. You might have seen in that movie also, on a quest. He became so unhappy that my own dear friend suddenly had disappeared from the scene. What did he do? What is life? What is death? So many questions. No book could give him the answers. Then finally, when he get this knowledge, where did he go from there after gaining that knowledge? Came back to the same world which he left behind. Successfully, joyfully. And he not merely isolated himself in some Himalayan cave and worked so hard and made sure that maximum number of people gain this knowledge. This is not Balavihar, Yuva Kendra, study group, Jnana Yajnas, camps, schools, hospitals, institutions, learning institutions, university now. What is that success that is possible? Not possible. Over 80, 85 schools. And it is impossible to think. Don't you think that that is the greatness of this knowledge? Worldly success? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha, Tatra Sri Vijaye Bhudhi Vijay, Tatra Sri, that is there, the prosperity, Sambhuti, abundance, Dhruva Nitihi, firm policy. These are all possible when the knowledge is properly gained. So, as Gurudev would put it, this knowledge is not for the isolated renunciates alone. People who are hiding away from the world and living in the caves. No. This knowledge is for the people who are working in the world. To become successful, to become happy, to lead their life with a purpose, with a higher goal. So, Tada Krishnena Sambuddhaha sa abhavad vijayi, sukhi, happy. So, now the thing is, when should you learn this knowledge? The earlier part of this very text we saw people say that this is for those people who are sannyasins and all those people who are retired, good for nothing, for them. No. To whom is this knowledge? The next verse says here, Aduna binarei praptum shakyate maduro jayah bodhena nena tarunye kim pratikshetat vruddhatam aduna pinarei praptum shakyate maduro jayah bodhena nena tarunye kim pratiksheta vruddhatam. Naraihi, by the people, adunapi, even now, maduro jayaha praptum shakyate, the great victory can be obtained, anena bodhena, tarunye, at their very young age itself, tarunye, at the when the taruna abhastayam abhi, taruna vayase abhi, even at the taruna vayas, meaning when they are one is young itself, anena bodhena, atma bodhena, by this knowledge, Madhuraha Jayaha Praptum Shakyate. This sweet success is possible. Why wait till old age? Kim Vriddhatam Pratiksheta. Why you have to wait till the old age? When do you want success? When you are 80. So I'm going to successfully die. One eccentric was there, very annoying person. Very annoying. Everybody he used to annoy. Right? And the priest, the Christian priest who has been their family priest, he gets very annoyed by this person because very eccentric in every view that he would have. Finally, he died. So the priest went to the house and he was consoling the wife, saying that, do not worry, your husband died, all right. His only the huskies here, nut has gone to heaven. Now, when do you want to be successful? When you're 80, 90? What success? You know the success in when you're 80 or 85 or 90. Today I had a successful sleep without getting up 2-3 many times. That is your success. At the old age, that is your success. Oh, I successfully digested my food. That is your success. When you are young, when you are ready to get out into the world and do things, that is when you need this knowledge. At that time, you do not touch it. And when everything is over, that's why somebody said, no, one very elderly lady was seen to be reading Bible. So her grandson came and said, she's already 75, 80 or 85. So the grandson came and said, Grandma, yes, what are you reading? I'm reading a book. What book is it? Basic instructions before leaving the earth. Bible. Would you read that when you are about to leave? See, interesting thing is in Hindu tradition also, unfortunately, many people say, Swamiji, my father died. So can we chant Bhagavad Gita? For whom? The one who's dead. He's during the whole life he never read. What are you reading now? Chanting for the dead. You should read it when you are ready to live life, not live. But when you have enjoyed living the life completely as it is instructed or suggested and advised by the Gita, you will not have any problem leaving the place. Living is also easy, leaving is also easy. If you don't, living is also difficult, leaving is also difficult. Aduna, now. Adunapi narehi praptam shakyate madhura jaya. Bodhena anena tarunye. At the time when you are young, kim pratiksheta vruddhatam. Oh, old age, as it is quoting from the Shiva Aparadha Kshamamara Sutram. Vardhagye chendriyanam vigata gadimadis chadi daivaditapai papai rogai viyogai stavana vasitavabuhu prodihinam chadinam mitya moha vilashe brahmati mamano durjader dhyana shunyam Kshantavyo me parada Shiva 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 Bo Sri Mahadeva Shambhu. At that time when you are old, Vardhake, when the old age, Indriyanam Vigata Gatimati. When my hold, all the senses have become so weak, my mind is not thinking correctly because of the Daivadita Paihi. Adi Devika, Adi Bhaudika, Adhyatmika tapas are all torturing me. Papai, Rogai, Vyogai. By all the sins I have committed, all the disease I have got, all the various people have left me, to Anavasita Vapuhu, uncontrolled body, proud heenam with no strength, deenam, pitiable, Mithya Moha Vilasaihi, I am completely deluded by this illusory existence. Brahmati Mama Manaha, my mind is bewildered. Durjate Dhyana Shunyam, I have never thought or meditated upon that Lord who has got Jata on his head. Durjate Dhyana Shunyam. Kshantavyo me aparadak Shiva Shiva Shivo Mahadeva Shambho. Please, Lord, please forgive me. At that time, you can only sit and pray and ask for forgiveness from the Lord. If one can gain the knowledge bright in the young age itself, you would not have the made mistake for and then to seek refuge or solace or apologies from the, you don't seek apology. You don't seek to be forgiven. Why? While I am alive, I have done the right thing. And that right thing comes only with the right knowledge. Continuing in the next verse, here he says, verse number 22. Ichchati hasukam siddhim paralokam natu kvachit balo grihastas sannyasi patet vedantamatrahi. Ichchati hasukam siddhim paralokena tu kvachit bale grihastas sannyasi patet vedantamatrahi. Atrahi patet Vedantam. Let one person read this knowledge or get this knowledge now, here. Who? Balaha. Young. That's why we have Bala Vihar, Grihastaha, householder, Sannyasi, or renunciate, whoever it be, whichever stage you are. Don't wait for too long. If you seek to be happy now, Ichchati iha sukham. Iha means here, atra asmin loke sukham ichchati. If one seeks joy here itself, paraloke na kvachit. We do not know whether we are going to get anything in the heaven at all or not. Be here, be happy here and understand that. Who knows that where we will go and what is the assurance that you will get joy there? So this is one of my favorite jokes. One elderly couple, one is the man was 85 and the lady was 84. Only 1 year difference. Very strict in their food and very disciplined. They lived a very long, healthy life. And somehow, met with an accident or something, they died. And both of them were sent to heaven. And there, they saw the beautiful palatial house, beautiful, golf also, always sun was shining. So the man was so excited. He said, wow, the golf course, beautiful sunshine. He was from East Coast, so this is when. But throughout the year, the sunlight was always there. He was so happy. And he said to the person who took him there, he said, oh great, such a beautiful place, such a palatial house. And I wish I can own it. This is yours. The mansion is entirely yours. Is it? Yes. How much I have to pay? Now you don't need to pay anything. Wow, very good. Golf club fee? Nothing. Nothing. Then they went to the dining hall. Varieties of food, all various kinds, all pastries, cake and ice cream and whatnot, and sweets, everything. He looked at, I wish I can eat it. Yeah, eat it. No, 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 no. This is fat. This is sugar. This is so much of oil. I will die. You already dead. So don't worry, eat. When he saw the food, he started to cry very loudly. So his wife came and said, why are you crying? Why are you crying now? What's wrong? It's all for you only. It's all because of you, he said. What did I do? See, because of you, I denied myself all through my life only to come here to enjoy it. I could have had it there itself. No doubt, because he could control it there, now you could enjoy it. But who told us, who can tell us or for sure that we will all be going to heaven like this to enjoy the experiences of pleasures there? Sensuous pleasures. On the other hand, if we can experience the innermost deep within ourselves, the complete contentment and happiness which doesn't require any of the external things, ichchati iha sukham. Here itself you can enjoy not the pleasures of the senses, etc. But after all, even the pleasures of the senses, what do you give? It's a temporary happiness only. But if you want that permanent happiness here itself, paralokena kvachite. There is no need for us to worry about what is there after the death. Paraloka. So that joy of oneself being here can be experienced by anyone, whether he is a balaha or grihastha, a sannyasi. By what? By understanding Vedanta. Patet Vedantam atrahi atra. Here itself. From the correct source, from the correct teacher, when the knowledge is properly given, ananya prokte gadiratra nasti idi Upanishad vadati. Kathopanishad. When a correct teacher comes and teaches you in a proper way, you cannot but get it. If a guru teaches the Shishya and Shishya becoming more and more miserable, then he understands. That fellow did not get it. Misery should not, even a trace of misery should not be there in the mind of the student. Not a trace. That is the great magic of this knowledge. So, if at all you find it is Vedanta is difficult, it is not difficult. It is because of lack of taste. Now you see in the next verse he says, Katinyam yat pratiyeta bodhe va sukshmatam yat tata naisha doshosti bodhasya narasya ruchikaranam Katinyam yat pratiyeta bodhe va sukshmatam tata naisha doshosti bodhasya narasya ruchikaranam. If somebody says it is difficult to learn or understand Vedanta, bodhe va, or in the knowledge, or sukshmatam, it is too subtle for me to understand, and tata, in the same way, not because, not this is the dosha bodhasya. It is not the problem of the knowledge. It is because aruchikaranam narasya. Lack of interest. See, it is like this. If I do not like a particular dish or a food, if somebody puts me bengan ka barta on my plate, You know how unhappy you'll become. You put anything else, that is all overlooked because you put this on my plate. Now, even if you force me to eat that, I'll feel so miserable. Not even one spoon I can take. It's not that the problem because you are enjoying it. I can see everybody's enjoying it. Mere in me there is aruchi, no taste for it. Sometime when you're traveling in the flight, or nowadays thank God they don't give food. Earlier when they used to give food, or even international flights. My God, the meat that they put in front of you in the next chair or what you call seat. I do not know how they even eat it. The smell is so horrible. How do we eat this? So that person is relishing that. Then that person also eats the food only which you think it is disgusting it is. Now how? रुचि नहीं है उसमें रुचि है उसको. In the same way, once you develop the taste for Vedanta Jnanam, then it is not difficult at all. Kartinyam aruchikarana. It is a lack of interest. You are not finding it interesting. You do not find it relevant to you. You did not even make an attempt to understand it. Therefore, it is too subtle, too hard. See, for a child which has not yet started walking is a great effort. But does it not overcome over a period of time? Because it understands that I have to walk at some point of time. Everybody around me is walking. So get up and walk. And then after some time, it is sullabham. Even driving also, you find so difficult to begin with, and slowly. Now you don't need even to look at the road. You look at somewhere else and drive. Even then, it's possible. How? Because you have developed interest to do that. You find the reason to do that. So all these complaints, it is hard. It is not. These are all because of lack of interest. In any field, it is true. So that's why he says in the next verse we read, Vivide jnana kshetrepi yasya yasmin ruchir bhavet tadjnanam sulabham bhati tasya tat saralam tatha. Vivide jnana kshetrepi yasya yasmin ruchir bhavet tadjnanam sulabham bhati tasya tat saralam tata. Vivide jnana kshetre api, even in the different kinds of fields, yasya yasmin ruchihi, in which in a person there is a taste or interest in it, Tadjnanam sulabham bhati. That becomes very easy for such a person. Tasya tat saralam tata. It becomes so effortless. You try to play the video game with your son, please. Try. You cannot. He will beat you for the first instance. By the time you pick up the remote control, he would have already won you. Why? Because he has become so an expert. How did he become an expert? He took interest. And then he took, other than doing his homework and studying, then immediately he will get into that. And he would play, and you cannot go anywhere near him. Is it not that to start with it is a difficult thing to understand the controls and the various ways of operating? But once he has learnt it, any field of knowledge, Jnana kshetre api vivide yasya yasmin ruchir bhave, where there is a taste. You go to any expert in musician, artist, anyone, to begin with, yes, that fellow took enough time, put enough effort to learn this because he has an interest in pursuing it. Once he has become an expert in that, it becomes so effortless. So also, Vedanta is when you start developing the ruchi for it. See, that is the reason why satsanga is very important. Because this is a knowledge which is about a very yourself. And it cannot be an external skill. It is not an external skill. It's not an external training you can give. Not a japa or mantra or rituals or chanting. That is not what we are talking about. It is how to travel within yourself, how to go deeper and deeper in yourself. That requires a guidance from a teacher who can slowly guide you to go to the core of your own being. The association with the noble people who have gained the knowledge will help you to understand the subtle matter, and he will help you to go deep within yourself to access that inner core of your being. And therefore, Guru Upasadanam, Shravanam, Mananam, Tata Nididhyasanam Ityadi Sadhanani Karniyani to be done. Though it may be difficult in the beginning, but as you go and start understanding the beauty of it, it becomes sarala. So that's why it is said in the next verse also. Vedanta vidbho evam Vedanta bodhoste rochako madhura priyah janayatantam tajnatum sarvabhavena sarvada evam vedanta bodhosti rochako madhura priyah janayatantam tajnatum sarvabhavena sarvada. Evam, in this way, Vedanta Bodha, the knowledge of Vedanta, also Rochakaha Asti, it's so pleasing. Madhuraha Asti, Priyaha Asti, sweet and loving. It is as much as any other subject matter which becomes dear and loving and sweet for a person who develops interest. And interesting here is that this Vedanta knowledge is not about something else, about you. And about you, what is that you? That most loving aspect of you. It is to learn that which you love the most. We have seen that. Atma Swatapriya. Nobody has to tell how to love myself. Are you in love with you? I have to learn. You don't need to learn. You are. All that you do in your life is because you love yourself. So that one which you love the most, to know about that one, how can there be any disinterest? You know, if I am in love with someone, I would like to know more and more about that person, right? If I am in love with music, I would like to know more and more about it. Similarly, when I am in love with my own self, I would like to know more about myself than anything else. And how is that we are overlooking this? It's so strange. You don't love yourself? Yes. Then what? Don't you want to know about who you are? When I'm old, I will see. That means what? Other things take priority. The temporary ones. So, janaha yatantam. Therefore, people should strive. Tat jnatum. Atmanam jnatum. Sarva bhavena sarvada. In all ways, in all enthusiasm. Sarva bhavena sarvada. With all enthusiasm, one should know about this. this. See, we are so fond of going to the temple and doing worship, do arati and all these things. But in the process, we forget the most important thing which Bhagavan taught us. We forget. Bhagavan Krishna you worship, but don't you listen to what he teaches you? Krishna, 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 Krishna. Are right? But what he is saying, are you listening or not? You only keep on chanting. When are you going to listen to what he says? You are making such a noise that you are overpowering what he wants to say. He says, come on, calm down, I have to tell you something. When Arjuna asked the question, after asking the question, he kept quiet to listen, right? We are not like that. We keep on talking and chanting and jumping and chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. Okay. Wait, now I have to tell you something. No, I'm going to go on shouting only. Hare, pehle suno. Listen first. Bhagavan, he wants to say something. Krishna, when he teaches Bhagavad Gita, we are not ready to listen to. So when he himself is teaching us from within, in the form of by our own self, and only his own reflection is there in the Guru. Ishvaro Gururatmevi Matma Idi Murti Beda Vibhagane Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. In the form of a Guru, in the form of Ishvara, in the form of Jiva, he is only one. Ishvaro Guruhu Atma Iti. All the three are one only. So listening to that Guru, gaining guidance from him to reach the Lord. That Vedanta which gives you so much of joyful love for your own self. You discover the true love for yourself. Now you have only peripheral love. Body I love, my mind I love, my emotion I love. But do you actually know that self which you love the most behind all this? So the last verse here, concluding verse number 26. Bhagavat prasadat cha guru prasadat sarvepi bhotena sukhino bhavantu Vedanta Madhurya Kritim Samarpaye Sri Ramachandraya Guru Chinmayaya Bhagavat Prasadat cha Guru Prasadat Sarvepi Bhotena Sukhino Bhavantu Vedanta Madhurya Kritim Samarpaye Sri Ramachandraya Guru Chinmayaya Samarpaye Aham. I offer this, I dedicate this Vedanta Madhurya Kritim, this composition called Vedanta Madhurya. Guruji says, to whom? Sri Ramachandraya, Sri Chinmayaya, to that Bhagavan Rama, to the Guru, Chinmayananda. With this supplication, with this surrender or prayer, what is that? Bhagavad Prasadat cha Guru Prasadat Sarvebi Bodhena Sukhino Bhavantu. Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu, we know that. May everyone become joyful and happy. Bhagavad Prasadat, by the grace of the Lord, Guru Prasadat, by the grace of the Guru, let all of them remain happy, and that happiness is enhanced more and more when we come to read the Vedanta and understand. And that is the whole idea of this beautiful composition by Swami Tejomayanji. Out of his joy, he composed it for us to enjoy not only the content but also take interest in learning Vedanta. So the Guru's grace and the Bhagavan's grace is very, very crucial in all through our life. See, somebody asked me this question, Swamiji, how do we know that we are gaining the grace of the Lord. Thing is, when you get things in your life for which you never worked, that is Bhagavan's grace. When you get a guru whom you did not look for and who is ready to teach you, it is Bhagavan's grace. When you are able to understand, even though it is difficult, because of the grace of the teacher and the Lord, it is Bhagavan's grace. If you are healthy, in spite of the fact you are eating whatever you want and still remaining healthy, it is Bhagavan's prasad. You can see in very many places where we have done wrong, yet we are guarded, secured, made, remain healthy, and we are able to continue our life. It is Bhagavat Kripa only. Don't take credit on, don't do that because of me. Don't do that. That ego should not come. Bhagavat Prasadat, Guru Prasadat, by the grace of the Lord and the Guru, may we continue to remain happy and find greater joy in understanding Vedanta and remain blissful. So we read the first verse again. Vedanta Vedyam Sri Ramam Natva Sri Chinmayam Gurum Vakshye Vedanta Madhuryam Lokanandakaram Bhavet Siyavara Ramachandra ki Jai, Sadgurunath Maharaj ki Jai. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, Harihi Om, Sri Gurubhyo Namaha, Harihi Om. Those who would like to offer Guru Dakshina for this yajna, please go to Chinmaya Mission Bakersfield website and you will find a link for donation there, so that you can do. Thank you so much for attending this week-long event. Thank you. Hari Om.
मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति दो उनकी, मंगल कांति हसनी दसनन की, मंगल मुरली बीना दुन की, मंगल आरती। मंगल बनिक त्रिभंगी हरि की, मंगल सेवा सब सहचर की, मंगल सिर चंद्रिका मुकुट की, मंगल छवि नैनन में अटकी, मंगल आरती। मंगल चटापबी अंग अंग की, मंगल गौर श्याम रस रंग की, मंगल अति कटि पियरे पट की, मंगल चितवनी नागर नट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल शोभा कमल नयन की, मंगल माधुरी मृदुल बैन की, मंगल वृंदावन मग अटकी, मंगल क्रीडन जमुना तट की, मंगल आरती। मंगल चरण अरुण तरुवन की, मंगल करणी भगति हरिजन की, मंगल जुगल प्रिया बावन की, मंगल श्री राधा जीवन की, मंगल आरती प्रिया प्रीतम की, मंगल प्रीति रीति दो उनकी, मंगल आरती। मंगल आरती। बोलिए कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय। Thank you.